I went to school to SCAD to study film, but in my journey, my school journey, I met a friend introduced me into graphic design, and I fell in love with it. And I really enjoy the control that you could have. Making your pieces. And back then, I mean, that was when Photoshop and Illustrator, started, and the school had those Macs and Adobe's programs. So I became fascinated, with them. So I changed to graphic design, and I fell in love with David Carson, who is a graphic designer from the 90s. He designed like incredible magazines like Reagan, which was a music magazine, and Speak, which was another great art magazine. And before that, he was the art director for Skateboarder and Surfer magazines. So I thought that, finishing school, that what I wanted to do is design magazines. And MTV Latin America, I was able to get an interview with them. They saw my work and they hired me as the art director for their marketing department. So moved to Miami. This was MTV Latin America, as I said. We oversaw the brand from Mexico all the way to Chile, except Brazil. Brazil had its own MTV. And a year into working, for MTV, because they knew that I had studied film too. They asked me if I wanted to direct a spot promoting a electronic music CD that they were going to release. So I directed the spot and they loved it. And they asked me that if I wanted to move from the print department into the on-air promotions department. So I said, yes, yeah, of course, yeah, I would love to. I had no idea what the on-air promotions department did. So I remember, like, as soon as they offered me that, I went to my apartment, and I started reading a manual for After Effects and for Avid. Well, Avid I knew a little bit, but I started reading this manual for After Effects, and I had to learn it overnight. And MTV was a great school because they didn't have big budgets, but we were able to do everything in house. They have all the toys that we needed, so we experimented a lot. I had a lot of fun doing it, and that took me into music videos. I started having I directed music videos for Plastilina Mosh, Nicole, the Chilean artist, and then I was agencies started calling me to direct commercials, and I directed commercials back then for McDonald's, Coke, for a truth campaign, the anti-tobacco campaign. I don't know if you remember those spots. I directed a few of them, and then I had a chance to meet Jaime Bailey, who's a very famous writer and presenter, Peruvian. And I had read one of his books, La Mujer de mi Hermano, which I enjoy a lot. And I had this Venezuelan producer, young producer, who could finance a small film. And that's how I was able to make La Mujer de mi Hermano, which was a tiny film. I think it cost like $250,000. And the movie ended up making like about 20 million at the box office. It was insane. Yeah, it was. Yeah, we had like a wide release in all Latin America. I think Mexico, we were on 500 screens, and then back then it was film, right? So those prints, then after Mexico, they were taken to like the rest of the countries, right? And there was a rollout. And in the States, if I'm not wrong, we had the biggest release for a Spanish-speaking film back then. We were like at 120 screens in the States. So that's how I got my feet into filmmaking. Like I had no idea how the industry works. I worked. I didn't have an agent or a lawyer, and thanks to that film, I was, was able to get an agent and a lawyer and a manager. And then NBC hired me to relaunch a TV channel in Los Angeles. So, which was great because I moved from Miami to LA, with a job, and they've moved me, so it was like a very comfortable transition. And I was able to bring a lot of my friends from MTV to relaunch this channel. So I was not just being paid to move to LA, but I was able to bring some of my friends. So I was not, which was great. And then when they hired me, NBC hired me. I told them I already had my second movie in mind, which is the name of the film is Mancora. And I told them I can help you relaunch the channel for the first year, but then I need to leave for a year to make my second film. And they gave me that leap of faith. Yeah. I mean, yeah, help us relaunch the channel, make your film, then you can come back. And so while I was at Mundos, I was still having meetings with producers, and I went to several festivals with Mancora. We premiered at Sundance in 2008. And then I forgot like how many years ago I did this short film, a sci-fi short film, because I really wanted to get into that space, and I felt that I needed to prove that I could do it. So I wrote a short film titled The Raven, and it was like more like a set piece. This guy running, the city being chased by these machines, and we did it, shot it. I think Converse, I got some financing from Converse, like $8,000, which was paid mostly permits and food for the crew. And we shot it in 2 days. And I remember posting that short film, on YouTube on a Tuesday night. And I sent a link, to everybody who worked on the film. And the following morning, we had like 200,000 views. It was crazy. It went like extremely viral overnight. And then the same day, Warner's called me with an offer. The guys that produced The Matrix, they wanted to get the rights. And I called my agents at WME, well, William Morris back then. And they told me, no, I mean, that's gotta be a joke. Like it's a prank. Like that cannot be real. Like they didn't believe me. And then the next day on Thursday, they called me, don't sign anything. Like DreamWorks is sending you an offer on Monday. And then on Friday, they told me Mark Wahlberg wants to produce the film. So that you were going to be meeting with him on Monday. And it was true. I mean, I met with Mark. Then we partnered with Justin Marks, the writer. He wrote Jungle Book, Shogun, and we sold the film to Universal at the end. And we were in pre-production in Toronto with an unfinished script and with Liam Hemsworth attached for the lead. And we couldn't get the script finished on time, so we lost Liam to Hunger Games. And then we were in Toronto, flew back to LA, and I had a movie with Brian Grazer, Lowriders. The script was pretty almost ready. So it was also with Universal. So we made the film. Which was also like a relatively small film. It had a budget of 5 million, and it was a limited release. Like about I forgot how many screens, like about 150. But the movie did amazing well. It did almost $3 million on its opening weekend, just with that amount of copies. We were like the highest. We had the highest average per theater in the country that opening weekend. So yeah, but I always had mixed feelings about that film because being a studio film, I mean, that the cut that was released, it was nothing of like they made too many changes to it. Like they cut a character. Yeah. So even though, I mean, the film was well received, I always felt like that was not my film. Like I didn't write it, I didn't edit it, so. But it still was a beautiful experience. And then COVID came, and that's actually when I started writing. I took that time to start writing stories that I was interested in, and I started writing like several scripts, like close to 10 scripts, which I keep like still like working on them, right? Like scripts, like I feel like you never finish writing them. And Mistura was the first of all those scripts that felt that was ready to be made. And actually, when I finished the script, I sent it to 3 producers, and the 3 of them wanted to produce. So it was a good problem to have at that point. And the movie was made like pretty quickly. Once we got a producer on board, in 6 months we were in pre-production, and I finished the film a year after. So it was a very, very quick process for a film.